So next thing we know, one day they called us, okay, get your gear, get aboard you're going to the LST-380. LST, what's that? Never saw one before, never knew what it was, so he and his two crews and me and my two crews, they put us on a bus, took us down to the base there and got aboard the ship. Next day next morning I think we left, for Bermuda. To pick up a big convoy there to go to North Africa. So, and the captain of that ship was Marcus Aurelius Goodrich.
What was the name of the ship?
LST-380.
And it didn't have a name though?
No.
It had just a number?
Just numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. But the LST is a ship over 300 feet long and 50 feet wide, and a crew of about 100 and about 8-10 officers and about 100 enlisted men.
And were you an officer on the ship at this point?
I was a passenger.
A passenger?
Yeah, passenger.
To go
to Oran, Algeria.
And to what? Were you headed to an assignment then?
To the command over there in the Navy command.
To do what they wanted?
Whatever they wanted you to do, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we missed our ship. We were supposed to have been on this Oberon.
Right. And
which we thought it would have been pretty nice duty, but as it turned out, maybe it wasn't. So, at least on those ships, you'd get a chance to go back to the States once in a while. You figure on the Amphib, once you got over there, you're over there for the duration, so...
So you made your way slowly to Bermuda and then
so those things, the top speed was 12 knots, which is what, like 15 miles an hour? Yeah, so we went to Bermuda and then I think there must have been about 6 or 10 LSTs there, and then we were supposed to join up with a big convoy to go from Bermuda over to Oran, Algeria. So we were in Bermuda a few days, and that was the first and only time I had a chance to wear my white uniform and white shoes and everything else, but never again. But
so you had to lug that stuff around with you?
Lug that stuff around, yeah. And the skipper of this ship was a tyrant. If you talk about you saw Mr. Roberts.
Yeah.
And the one that had that plant there that Ensign Pulver threw over. Well, Goodrich was like that guy, like that James Cagney in that movie. Yeah. Oh, what an SOB.
Did you get to know him pretty well?
He didn't want anybody to. Hey, we were scum. He didn't even eat. He ate privately in his own room. He didn't eat with the other officers. Threatened me with a court-martial 3 times.
And for what?
Once I picked I was we stood watches going across the Atlantic. And one time I picked up binoculars there, and they're belonged to the ship. They weren't his personally, but I happened to pick up his binoculars there. Oh, not mine! You touch it again, I'll give you a court-martial. Another time, I don't know. The small boat wasn't there on time to pick him up at the shore or something like that. Well, nobody had given me instructions to have the boat there, so but he was I got stories about him. But he married Olivia de Havilland, the actress, after the war. But he was a screenwriter in Hollywood, and he made good money there, even during the Depression years there before the war, but a nasty person, nasty.
So you were a screenwriter before the war and after the
And
war.
he wrote a bestseller,
Which was
Delilah.
Delilah.
It was the story of an American destroyer in the Philippines prior to World War I.
And did you read the book?
I did after I got out of the Navy.
Did you enjoy it?
Very good. He was a terrific writer.
Would you recommend it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then
No,
did you
it was good. Yeah, it was a bestseller in 1940 or 41.
did you make it all the way across then to Oran?
Yeah, then we arrived in Oran. On the way over, there must have been 80 ships in that convoy that formed at in Bermuda there. Merchant ships, slow merchant ships, LSTs, transports, whatever. And we were, and our cargo, the whole lower deck there, the tank deck they call it, was all ammunition that we carried. And our position in the convoy was the last ship in the extreme right-hand column.
Kind of dangerous place
They
to
call
be.
it Coffin Corner.
Coffin Corner.
Yep.
Because it was why?
Well, that's where they picked them off, I guess, at that right.
Who? The German
The German U-boats. And they sank a couple of ships in the convoy.
that you were in.
In that convoy, yeah.
And did you know about it immediately?
Yeah, you saw the explosion, yeah.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Well, glad it wasn't us. So then when we had this, he called the night before we left Bermuda, he called a meeting of the officers there, and Goodrich did, and told, about our cargo was ammunition. You take one hit, there, boom. But my luck will bring you through.
And did you get a lot
Very
of
dramatic.
Did you get a lot of rolling eyes to that?
I was a passenger. These guys, the regular guys on the ship, they knew better than I did. So we got to Oran and.
Do you remember going through the Straits of Gibraltar?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. There it was on the left-hand side there, the rock. Yeah. Well, you were based near there, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. Rota, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you made
Across
it.
on the right-hand side was Morocco there.
Yep. Ceuta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you made it to Oran.
To Oran, and then my friend Charlie Ball, we thought we got to get off of this hell ship. So we still had our orders to report to the Oberon. So we thought we got to do something about this. So we showed the exec officer we had orders there for the Oberon. So let us go ashore there, and they said, "Oh, she's over there in Mers El Kabir."
Nearby.
Yeah, it was a French Navy base a few miles outside of Oran. So we made our way over there, and so we showed the order. So we went back. We got our crews, 2 boat crews each, and truck or bus or whatever we got, and reported aboard the Oberon. And we were on that thing for a couple of weeks, and then they decided they had too many officers and small boat crews. So away we went. We were discharged. We were detached.
And you're still in Africa at this point?
Yeah. So we went back to Oran, and then the next thing they didn't have anything for us there, so they stuck us on a truck, and we went to the next town, Arzu. Which was like 20 miles east of Oran there, and we lived in primitive conditions there on the beach, and I mean primitive. And I thought, my goodness, what did I get into? I thought I was joining the Navy, and we were there for a couple of weeks there, and then one day, a couple of LSTs pulled in to the port there, and okay, Charlie Ball, he went on the LST-331 and I went to the 312. And we became part of ship's crew.
And what was your first position on the ship?
The first one, the gunnery officer had to go to the hospital, so the skipper told, "You're the gunnery officer."
And that was one topic you didn't do so well in Midshipman School.
So we had a 1 3-inch gun, and we had a couple of 40 millimeter anti-aircraft and some 20 millimeter anti-aircraft guns. So plus sidearms and rifles and whatnot. So then we made our way to Algiers. Then and I remember I attended a Bob Hope concert that one evening there in Algiers, and just as the thing was winding over, then the air raid signals came on, so they disbanded that in a hurry. And then from there, and oh yeah, when we pulled in there at the dock in Algiers, here are all these thousands of people lined up on the dock there.
And this is what year again?
This would be like in May or June of '43.
Okay.
They're German prisoners, so they're waiting to get on board the ship to take them either to England or to the States. So, but hey, they look just like us, except for they're wearing the German caps there. But so then from Algiers, then we went to Bizerta in Tunisia and Tunis, and loaded up there with first Infantry Division troops for the invasion of Sicily.
And these troops are probably ones that had already seen Africa service. Then.
Yeah, they were from the first Infantry Division.
Okay, and they had already been fighting in North Africa.
Yeah, they were supposed to be battle hardened. Yeah.
Okay.
So then on the 9th of June in the afternoon, we left Bizerta for the invasion, the landing in Sicily. At the nearest point, Sicily and Tunisia are only about 40 miles apart, but we were supposed to land at certain, beaches there. So we left at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We weren't supposed to arrive there until the wee hours of the morning. So, I guess the whole Armada fleet, or whatever you want to call it, they headed east there. I don't know if it was like a diversion or just to kill time. Then when we got by Malta, then we headed straight north towards the landing area there. And we arrived there in the wee hours of the morning. The paratroopers, I think, went in right after midnight. But the ground forces and the ship people, they were supposed to land at the first wave at 6:30 in the morning. So, and
how many troops were on your boat, do you think?
On ours, we had maybe bunks for 300, and plus all the trucks and tanks and jeeps, whatever they brought with them.
So you were fully loaded?
Oh yeah, we were fully loaded, yeah.
Okay.
Did that several days before. So this was the first time an LST was used in the war, the Sicily invasion. So something brand new there.
Just to digress for a second, when was where was the LST built? Do you know that? That 312?
The 312 was built in Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in Illinois.
No, not one of those. Yeah.
Okay.
No, they built LSTs down in Seneca, Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right down on the Illinois River there.
Big ocean-going ships.
Yeah, they built 157 of them there. They call the shipyard. I got the book here someplace. Shipyard in the Prairie. Yeah. But they didn't have the mast. They just had the hull and the what little superstructure we had, and then they went down the Illinois River and then down the Mississippi, and then when they got to New Orleans, then they finished refurbishing the ship, the mast and all that stuff there, because of the bridges that they had to go under on the way down.
So you were a pioneer. You were an officer on a ship that was used.
Well, a couple of days before we left Bizerti, then the gunnery officer, he came back. He recovered from his ailment, whatever it was. So
that left you without a job?
That's right. I didn't have any job. So
you were just a tourist on this thing.
Huh?
You were just a tourist.
That's right. Yeah, I was a tourist. Yeah. No, I didn't have any battle station. I asked the skipper, I said, "What do you want me to don't worry about it," like that. I mean, he was the opposite of this Marcus Aurelius Goodrich. So,
A nice guy.
nice guy. He was a Mustang, yeah.
What was his name?
Haslup, Haslup, Charles Haslup, yeah. So when we like I said, the first wave was supposed to go in about 6:30, and so about 8:30 they sent us in, 2 hours after the first wave there, and on the way in we hit a sandbar, and we're stuck. We couldn't go forward, we couldn't go backwards, and the Germans, the beachhead hadn't been secured yet, so they still had German artillery around there, so they were firing at us, and plus their planes flying, they were strafing us and whatnot. So, well, we're sitting there, and some of these troops there, when they're attacked, their first instinct is to dig a foxhole. Well, you can't dig a foxhole in a steel deck, so some of them, they jumped overboard. But the water was, was only up to about here, so it didn't drown or anything. But we couldn't do anything. That's all. So we're just stuck there. This was like 8:30 in the morning. So then around noon, like I said, I didn't have any particular spot there, so I meandered around the ship and this and that. So I went by one of these anti-aircraft guns there, and the one guy, the gunner there, he says, I got to go to the John. Well, the head, the Navy calls it the head.
Yes.
So I said, okay, I'll relieve you. So I went there and I put myself in there, the 20 millimeter there, and then a German plane comes over, and hey, I know I shot that thing. Probably 1,000 other guys claim they shot it too. So
Did it go down?
Oh yeah, it went down. Yeah.
So you potentially have.
Not any more than the man in the moon.
In his eyes, he did it.
So this guy is going to the head, and that's when the action breaks out.
Oh no, they'd been busy all morning.
They had, okay.
Yeah, all morning. And then when he came back, then no, it kept on all day. They came strafing us there. So, at one time I was in the wheelhouse there, and the bullets came and they were whizzing around in the wheelhouse there. But I guess my guardian angel kept me.
Wow.
And then late that afternoon, no, we're still stuck. We couldn't move. We couldn't go backwards or forwards. So late in the afternoon, I'm standing over near the stern on the thing there, and another German plane came over and dropped they call them a skip bomb. We'd never heard of them before, but the thing landed on the water and then it bounced, and then it went right over us. It landed about 50 feet from our port stern, and went over and landed on off the starboard quarter there. And that jammed our rudder, so to make things a little worse. But by that time, though, the artillery at least was, they'd secured the beachhead, so they were pushed further in.
So the other boats made it in.
Yeah, other ships, but now we were on the 312. Now the 313 went in that afternoon there, and she was about 50 yards to our right, our starboard. and that took a direct hit, and that it destroyed. Well, all those vehicles they had aboard with their gasoline in them and everything. It just went up in smoke. That's all. So, but that was one of the few LSTs that was lost there. So we were there. Finally, about 11 o'clock that night, they got an ocean-going tug that they were able to towed us off the beach. Yeah, but that was a long day there. At 8:30 in the morning until.
And did any other ships get stuck?
No, ours was the only one. Well, they weren't going to go in that place there, so.
Oh, so you led the way, and they just started. Oh,
yeah.
Did he get in trouble, the captain?
No. No, that's the thing about the amphibious warfare. It's counter to all Navy, protocol. Seamanship, you stay off the ground. You don't want to run aground. But in the amphibs there, you deliberately go aground, to go in. So not to get stuck on a shoal, but to land, pull up on the beach there.
So they can unload.
Huh?
So they can unload. You can get all the vehicles and all the men off. You want to get close enough to get them off.
Yeah, because on the LST there's at the bow there, the two doors they open, and then the ramp goes down there, and then we had stuff on the lower deck. They call the tank deck, and up on I got pictures in there. So, one fully loaded, and boy, they carry.
Now, were you in close enough that they could unload?
No, then they towed us out into the bay there.
Okay.
They towed us out in the bay, and then the next day we unloaded onto smaller craft or barges, and then they took them into the beach there. No, our rudder was still screwed up there, and they didn't want to take a chance on going in there again like that. So, I mean, that was the worst day of the war for me. But
Why?
well, I never had anything like that after that.
Oh, no close calls like that.
Not that close. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting duck.
Huh?
You were a sitting duck.
Yeah, we were sitting duck there. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, well, we had anti-aircraft guns, but it's.
So where did you go after that?
So then we went. Then after we unloaded that stuff, then they formed a convoy. Went back to Bizerti there in Tunisia. Only a few hours away, and then loaded up for another load. And then, huh?
Didn't you have to fix the rudder?
Oh, they did that. Yeah, they
Okay.
fixed that before we
Okay.
left. Before we left Sicily there. So then after a couple of trips there, round trips, I went to the one evening there back in Bizerti. I saw the 380, the ship that I'd come across the Atlantic on.
This is Marcus Aurelius's ship.
His ship. It was tied up on the same pier as we were, a few ships further down at the same pier. So I thought, well, I think I'll go over there. I'll check and see if I got any mail there. Mail gets screwed up as it is. But if you leave one ship there, then God knows when you're going to get it. So
Yeah.
So when after I came back, got off, and I went back down the pier to my own ship there, who should I meet but His Majesty, Captain Goodrich. Oh, Mr. Swenson, how are you? Very dramatic, and.
And there was no love lost between you two? Or did you get along?
Well, hey, he was supreme.
Oh.
He was the captain of his ship, even though he's only a two-striper. He was the captain of the ship, and he acted like he was the king. That's it. So I said, "Oh, I just stopped by your ship to get some mail." well, so I went aboard. About 9 o'clock that night, they called me into the 312 that I was on. It was also the division flagship. The commander of the division had his staff on that ship there. I was called to go to the commander's assistant there too. So I went there and, oh, Swenson, you're being transferred. I said, oh yeah, why? He said, well, somebody requested you. I said, to where? He says, the 380. I said, oh no. And Goodrich had requested me for his ship. I don't know. So I said, well, do me a favor, just make it temporary duty, will you? So he said, what's the matter? Why? I said, well, have you ever been on that thing or ever talked to anybody that's been on that ship? They didn't know, so I said, they got a waiting list to get in the brig. So, so I packed up my stuff and walked down the pier there to the 380 there, and I was part of ship's company on that thing.
So, just a quick question. All this time that you're in North Africa, where are your siblings? Where are your parents? Are they all living in Chicago at this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were, they were at the Lydia Children's Home.
And where is that?
At Irving Park and Kildare.
Okay. Is the building still there?
Yeah, but it's a lot bigger, I think, now than it used to be.
Is it still called the Lydia Children's Home?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think so, yeah.
They have a preschool there.
Yeah.
And what were they doing there?
They were the manager, I suppose you call it, or manager,
Yeah.
principal, or something. I don't
They
know.
ran it. didn't
They ran it, yeah.
You guys lived there or something? Or,
Yeah, they lived there, yeah.
Right.
No, when I got through school there, waiting to go to the Navy, I had my orders, and I was supposed to report in October to New York there. So I stayed at the Y there,
across the street.
yeah, right across the street. But I took my meals there at the home with my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry to digress there. So then
No,
you joined Marcus Aurelius's ship, and
Back on it. I'd been on it as
Yeah.
a passenger coming across the Atlantic there. So.
Right.
So when they request you, you can't say no.
No, I got orders from
Right.
the
It's not really a request. It's
I got
telling
ordered.
you
Well,
stuff.
he requested that for I don't know why he needed another officer, but unless he thought he would be able to control me or.
He liked you.
Well, maybe he did. At the. Well, who wouldn't like Ensign Swenson?
exactly.